The sun rises on the just and the unjust alike. But for the warrior, the sun does not promise a new day. It exposes a new battlefield. You sit in your tower of comfort, surrounding yourself with scrolls of intentions. You write down your dreams. You schedule your glory for a year from now, 5 years from now. You call this planning. You believe that by organizing the future, you can control it. This is the greatest lie of the civilized mind. It is a sedative you drink to forget the terror of the unknown. Miyamoto Musashi did not have a 5-year plan. He did not sit under the lantern light negotiating with destiny. When you walk the path of the solitary sword, to plan is to die. Because the enemy does not care about your schedule. The strike does not wait for you to be ready. Musashi did not plan. He prepared. There is a vast ocean of difference between the two. Planning is a wish projected into a time that does not exist. It is the arrogance of believing you will survive the night. Preparation is the acceptance that you might not. Preparation is the sharpening of the spirit, the hardening of the body, and the emptying of the mind. Right here, in this brutal moment, the Ronin knows only the immediate reality, the mud under his feet, the weight of the steel at his hip, the rhythm of his own breath. He does not look at the mountain peak and dream of the view. He looks at the rocky path directly in front of him and knows that one slip means the end. To achieve the victory over yesterday, you must first shatter the mirror of your own vanity. You must stop building monuments to a future you have not earned. The man you were yesterday, he loved his plans. He loved the safety of tomorrow. That man must be put to the sword. Today, we do not discuss how to dream. We discuss how to wake up. We discuss the mindset of a man who lived as if a blade was constantly pressed against his throat. Forget your calendar. The only time is now, and the only opponent is the ghost of who you used to be. The ghost of yesterday is a heavy corpse. Yet, most men choose to strap it to their backs and carry it until their knees buckle. You carry your past failures like scars that refuse to heal, picking at them until they bleed fresh shame. You carry your past victories like golden chains, binding you to a standard you are terrified you cannot reach again. Musashi understood this trap. He fought over 60 duels to the death. 60 times, he stood on the edge of the abyss. But if he had walked into the 61st duel thinking about his 50th victory, he would have been cut down instantly. Pride is slow. Arrogance is heavy. The memory of, "I was great," is the quickest way to ensure you will never be great again. The world does not care what you did yesterday. The sword strike coming for your neck does not respect your resume. Yesterday's strength is today's rust. If you rest on it, it will corrode. To be a warrior is to be in a constant state of shedding skin. You must look at the person you were yesterday with all his anxieties, his petty comforts, his small achievements, and you must leave him behind in the shadows. Do not mourn him. Do not celebrate him. Simply step over him. This brings us to the breaking of the dawn. How do you greet the morning? Do you bargain with the alarm? Do you hide under the warmth of the blankets, dreading the cold air of reality? This is the first defeat of the day. You have already lost before you have even drawn your weapon. For Musashi, the dawn was not a time of beauty. It was a time of cold clarity. In the Dokkodo, he wrote, "Do not regret what you have done. This is not an excuse for recklessness. It is a command for absolute focus. When the sun rises, the regrets of the previous night must be incinerated. To win over yesterday, you must treat the morning as a resurrection. You rise from the death of sleep not to seek comfort, but to seek discipline. The water that washes your face should feel like the shock of a frozen waterfall. It reminds you that you are alive and that life is suffering. Most people treat themselves with the kindness of a grandmother. They forgive their own laziness. They make excuses for their own weakness. "I will do it tomorrow," they whisper. The warrior treats himself with the severity of a tyrant. He demands more from himself than any master could ever demand. Victory over yesterday begins the moment your eyes open. If you can conquer the desire to stay in bed, you have struck the first blow. If you can look in the mirror and see not who you are, but who you must become, you have drawn your sword. The battle has begun. Do not be late. But the moment you step out into the world, a shadow walks beside you. It is not the shadow cast by the sun. It is the shadow of your own importance. This is the invisible weight that crushes the spirit of the warrior before the first blow is struck. You carry the heavy armor of your identity. You worry about your reputation. You defend your fragile pride. You are obsessed with how the world perceives you. Musashi saw this vanity as a fatal opening. To be obsessed with oneself is to be blind to the enemy. In his final days, writing in the cave of Regondo, he carved the words, "Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world." Do not mistake this for humility. It is not about lowering your head in shame. It is a ruthless tactical advantage. If you are heavy with yourself, you are slow. If you are full of your own story, there is no room for reality to enter. You become a target that is easy to hit because you are so large in your own mind. To defeat the stagnation of yesterday, you must perform a violent act of the mind. You must sever the attachment to who you think you are. The man who was insulted yesterday and holds a grudge today is a slave. The man who was praised yesterday and seeks validation today is a beggar. Both are trapped in the cage of the ego. The true warrior is a ghost to his own history. He walks through the insults and the praises as if they were mist. They pass through him, leaving no trace. Imagine your ego as a tumor attached to your soul. It demands to be fed. It demands comfort. It screams when it is challenged. You must take the cold steel of discipline and cut it out. It will hurt. It will feel like you are killing a part of yourself. And you are. You are killing the part that makes you weak. When you strike at the opponent, there must be no I who is striking. There is only the sword, the void, and the cut. When you work, there must be no I who is tired. There is only the task and the will. The emptiness Musashi speaks of is not a lack of substance. It is a lack of debris. It is the clarity of a sky swept clean by a storm. Only when you are empty of yourself can you be full of power. Only when you cease to be the hero of your own tragic play can you finally see the stage for what it is. The world owes you nothing. Yesterday owes you nothing. Drop the burden of your name. Walk as if you are already dead, and you will find that for the first time, you are truly free to live. You seek a destination. You ask the silent heavens, when will I be finished? When can I finally rest and say I have become the man I was meant to be? The answer is never. The civilized man works for retirement. He endures the struggle only because he dreams of the day the struggle ends. He views hardship as a toll he must pay to enter the gates of comfort. But the warrior knows that comfort is the grave. The moment you believe you have arrived, you have begun to rot. Musashi did not sheath his blades after his 60th duel and declare himself a master. He retreated to a cave, not to hide, but to sharpen the only weapon that remained his mind. He understood the terrifying truth of existence. Entropy is relentless. Rust does not sleep. The weeds in the garden do not bargain. If you do not tend to the blade of your spirit every single day, it dulls. If you do not walk the path disappears. 1,000 days of training to forge the spirit, 10,000 days to polish it. Do you understand the weight of these words? 10,000 days is 30 years. 30 years of polishing. 30 years of looking for the smallest imperfection, the tiniest flaw in your character, and grinding it away. It is an exhausting, unglamorous war. There are no crowds cheering for the man who wakes up alone to face his own mediocrity. There are no medals for the man who conquers his own temper in silence. This is the art of continuous war. It is not a war against the world. It is a war against the natural law of decay. To win over yesterday, You must accept that today's victory is merely the ticket to enter tomorrow's arena. You do not climb the mountain to sit at the peak. You climb the mountain so you can see the next, higher peak that was hidden from the valley below. Stop looking for the end. Stop waiting for the day when things will be easy. Easy is the path of the corpse floating downstream. The living soul swims against the current. The struggle is the glory. The training is the way. Embrace the endless march, for it is the only proof that you are still alive. And so, we arrive at the edge of the known world. We stand before the final gate. Miyamoto Musashi called it the void. You have killed the ghost of who you were. You have risen with the cold sun. You have cut the tumor of your ego. You have accepted the war that has no end. Now, you must learn to disappear. To become the void is not to become nothing. It is to become everything. It is to be so fully present in this single breath that the past and future cease to exist. When the warrior strikes with true emptiness, there is no hesitation, no doubt, no fear of death, and no lust for glory. There is only the strike. Victory over yesterday is not about adding more trophies to your shelf. It is about stripping away the layers of illusion until only the truth remains. It is realizing that the man you were yesterday does not matter, because he is already ash. The man you will be tomorrow does not matter, because he is only a ghost. There is only this silence, this pain, this power. You are not a statue carved in stone, fixed and permanent. You are the river. You are the wind that cuts through the cedar trees. You are the fire that consumes the dead wood of your own history. Do not carry your victories. Drop them. Do not carry your defeats. Burn them. Walk into the void with empty hands and an open heart. For it is only when you have nothing to lose that you become invincible. The path is lonely. The way is hard. But the view from the peak of the self is infinite. Go now. The sun is setting on who you were. Let him die in the darkness. And when the light returns, rise as someone the world has never seen. Stand up. Draw your sword. Your life begins now.